All right, where do you want to go? Take a seat, any seat. Okay. You like that?
Hello?
Which part? I know which part. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Co-Optional Podcast, live from PAX West 2016.
Why do you get a cool little pad of paper?
Oh, hold on. We have a tradition. I'll draw Spider-Man's face,
Okay.
and then she makes him fart.
It's teamwork.
Spider-Man's face.
I'm already feeling good about this show, no doubt. Well, it's day 4 of PAX. We're all bloody exhausted, as are, by the looks of it, most of you. But thank you very much for coming to the Western. Congratulations on finding it. We had issues with that, but every year or so, when we get the chance to come out of PAX, we always love to do a little shorter version of our usually insufferably long podcast, which generally starts late on Twitch, generally ends late on Twitch, and lasts for far longer than it should. So we're going to cram that all into 1 hour somehow. I'm looking forward to trying that one out. The first big thanks, of course, has to go out to Sabertunes for our brand new intro, which will now be running on the show for the foreseeable future until we can convince him to make another one. So that'll probably be like 4 years or whatever, but we felt we need a little bit of an extra coat of paint on the show. I'd like to introduce our panelists for the day. You know most of them, I would hope, at this point. You know, if not, and you're new to the show, welcome. I'm sorry. Of course, our first panelist, Dodger. Welcome to the show.
Hello, everybody.
That's pretty much all she does, so don't expect too much. A man notorious across every continent, no doubt.
Yes.
Without a doubt. It is Jesse Cox. Welcome to the show.
There's a big version of us. I didn't know.
We have cameras and everything. It's really great.
Hello, nerds.
You sound a bit tired, Jesse.
No, I'm great. I feel great. I'm so excited.
Last but by no means least, a man who is probably wondering what the hell he got himself into at this point. Yeah. Representing Rooster Teeth and the Funhouse, it's Adam Covey.
I'm just happy to be involved.
Aww.
Welcome back. Second time with us, I believe, on the show after abandoning your station at Machinima and moving over to greener pastures.
Imagine if the Titanic just wouldn't go down. But it's sort of like New Atlantis, so it's still there, but everyone's kind of bothered by it, and it still shows up at PAX parties.
That string quartet is like still playing. It's been an honor. I'll play with you.
Just
years later, they're like, "Oh my god!"
I just cut my wrist. No, I mean we're happy to be here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. So we're on day 4 now. Feels like day 8 of PAX because it all just becomes mushed into this thing.
Does.
I'm very homesick, but I'm very happy to be here.
Aww.
Great.
Yeah. I miss
Fantastic.
my cats.
Oh.
Me too.
Yeah.
I don't, because cats are devil creatures.
What word were you gonna say?
I looked out in the audience and saw a lot of cat people, so I dialed it back. Dialed it back a little bit. I was like,
For those who don't know, on the stream, like the back 3 rows are all just actual cats. They're just sitting
Dodger's
there.
cats have come out.
I have to bring them with me everywhere.
Oh God, and I can almost believe it. That's terrifying. Well, for the first 40 minutes of the show, we usually talk about the games that we've been playing at PAX, and we've played a hell of a lot of them. The last 20 minutes, we'll be doing some open Q&A. Just to let you know, there will be a signing session after the show, and that's going to be down on level 2. There's going to be a line there. We'll be signing photos and photoing signings and everything like that. Everything you want.
Yes.
Anything,
most
anything
things.
you want.
Well, he'll do the requests. Everyone else is fine. You know. Cool. Well, welcome to the show, and welcome, of course, to PAX. What the hell have we been playing at PAX is a good question. Who wants to kick us off?
I finally got to touch Battle Chef Brigade.
Right, yes. That is the wonderful game of beating up the things that you're about to cook.
Yeah, it's Food Wars the game. It's great. I didn't realize it had match 3 elements in it.
It does, yes. The cooking part of the game is a sort of match 3 puzzler.
When you stir the pot.
Yeah,
You
and you
see?
put in the additional ingredients and make it super fancy. Yeah. And then the other component of the game is going out to find your ingredients, which involves kung fu.
It's great. Yeah, you
most
run
part.
out there.
Shopping.
You attack all of the living things and take their bits, and then you come back to the kitchen and you put it all in a pot and you stir it up and then you feed it to people and it's great.
I want to see your cooking show. You gotta go first. You get the bits, and then you stir it up in a pot, and then it's great.
Yeah.
That's just it. There's
That's
no
it.
recipes. It's just you
it.
like put them bits in there.
Cook bits.
In the demo, it does feel very, very anime though, because all of the demo ends with you having to challenge one of the chefs that you've met in town, and all of the chefs are just weirdos, like super weirdos. And I was like, yes, this is believable for me.
Yeah, I was talking to the guy, I think at PAX East, and he said, yeah, so we're influenced by Guardian Heroes on the Sega Saturn and Food Wars,
Yes.
which I think is a great combination.
Mwah.
At one point, you just beat the shit out of a dragon, and then you feed it to somebody, and that's a great feeling.
I did very bad at dodging that dragon. I
Yeah,
was terrible at it.
that's a fun little game though. That's coming along really nicely. I like that one. The indie section has been absolutely rammed this year. There's so much stuff here. It's impossible to get to all of it. And it's very popular as well, to the point where anyone with any degree of social anxiety is just terrified by that area. It's
Well,
it's
yeah,
just
it used to
crowded.
be-
Everyone's there.
It used to be that, like, okay, everything else has too long of a line, so I'm going to just hang out in the indie section where, like, it's a bit more chill. And now it's everybody has realized that, right? Now
Yes.
everybody has
Yeah.
realized the big lines aren't worth it. I'm not going to get through them, so I'm just going to hang out in the indie section and everything is exploding. But
Yeah.
for the most part, if you, at least here, like, the same games are also on the 6th floor, indie-wise.
There's a couple
So-
there's a couple of duplicates. The 6th floor is a lot more pleasant unless you try and queue for Star Trek VR, which I found was impossible. I showed up before I was even supposed to be allowed in the door, and there was still a line. I'm like, who the fuck are you? I'm pretty sure it was all PAX exhibitors. Like, it was just people who had left their booths and wanted to try Star Trek VR.
This is what you get because we're supposed to play that game as a team.
Yeah.
Right, Captain.
And you tried to go by yourself.
And you
and
betrayed
Captain
us.
can't run the ship by
I
himself.
couldn't trust any of you to run an advanced ship. I couldn't trust any of you to run this podcast, let alone that ship.
Captain, your actions were logical.
gonna-
Nailed it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to put you in a red shirt and beam you down to a dangerous planet.
No.
Is it just you sitting on the Enterprise bridge while like Picard yells at you, or
That'd be
like,
amazing. I'd love that game too.
Yeah.
I believe you are one of the yelling Picards. You can be that. Although it's set in the alt universe, as in the rubbish one,
Right.
which is unfortunate. So the Enterprise is, like, fat for some reason.
Sure.
I don't know why.
Let's roll with that.
Oh god, I can't get up to warp speed. Oh, give me a minute. Oh
It's like,
god,
give me a minute. Give me a minute. Oh,
Okay, give me 5.
look, I've been at half impulse all day. What
Okay.
It's highly sensitive based on every movie it explodes, so I'm going to assume, yeah. It's a rubbish flagship, let's
It
be
is.
honest.
It
Like,
really is.
it's highly unreliable. It's like, let's just send the flagship to this random-ass nebula. What's in it? I have no idea. Oh, we exploded. Big surprise. Right. It's like, Captain, go down to this dangerous planet. Interface with the swamp monster.
What does God need with a starship? It's a valid question.
It's a valid point.
valid question.
A valid point.
Yeah.
But yeah,
good movie. Star Trek
everyone
5.
seems to be in on that
Good
one.
movie.
VR being the big theme of the show.
Yeah, there's lots of VR stuff.
Lots of VR stuff,
And
yeah.
I've noticed also anytime I talk about having played a VR thing here, a lot of the responses have to do with me eventually getting pink eye. So there's that. I would like
have
everybody
not
to know.
Played a one VR game.
I would like
here.
everybody to know that they are all super freaked out about that. They wipe those things down so well each time.
Ubisoft tweeted at me, guaranteeing me that they clean their headsets.
I watched
They
the
were
dude
that
do it.
paranoid about
There is
people
no
thinking that
level
they
of
don't.
headset clean that I trust at this convention. Not a one.
But
They
just-
would have to flame sanitize.
I say, just with PAX in general, I don't think you can go more than 2.5 feet without getting a whiff of fart. Like it's
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true.
it's just fart and BO-con, which totally understandable.
Wait,
but-
are you suggesting that maybe the fart BO concoction settles on all of the VR headsets?
Absolutely.
Okay.
How did that
Just
happen?
gets stuck up in there in those little nooks and
Yeah,
crannies.
just like it's just sitting in the world, right? And it eventually has to settle.
And
Has to
Ubisoft has
land
managed to make it even
somewhere.
worse because they brought the so-called Nosulus Rift experience for the.
What?
They did not have that in the press suite, and I think there's a very good reason for that. We went up to the press suite to play For Honor and South Park, which were both great.
There's a
South Park in
press
particular.
suite?
Yes, there is.
Ain't nobody invited me there.
Yeah, I didn't get to go.
They had like braised lamb there, and there was some chicken, and we played video games.
Was there also a trapeze artist?
There was no trapeze artist.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
afraid,
then
no.
good. Our evening was still.
Yeah, this
Way
evening was still
better.
better than that. Yeah,
Thank God.
don't ask. But they did not have the so-called Nosulus Rift. However, my wife decided she would try the Nosulus Rift experience. I cannot imagine why you would do that. It's South Park. What did you expect? Apparently, they concoct a hefty waft of fart that is blown into your nose about 5 minutes into the demo.
So,
Have video games gone too far?
Why do we play God?
can I add to this story? One of my friends is one of the PR people for Ubisoft, and he was telling me that apparently people were instructed to, after you are the people who are in the room with that, when you're done, don't go out for the night. Maybe go home and shower first because you're going to smell. To which my thought was, wait, so the people who work the room, that's the information they're given, but if you're press or someone, you go into play and it's on your face, you're good for the rest of the day. That's crazy. If it's that bad of a smell, you probably should tell people not to ever use that.
That sounds awful.
I mean, that does sound like the worst idea ever. I'm going to be honest. I can't imagine why they did it. But
South Park, that's why.
I mean, it got them
It's
plenty of
because South
publicity.
Park.
You give them credit for that. You know, it's got us talking about it, so I guess they won, right?
It's true.
But at what cost?
They always get us.
South Park!
South Park is great, though. They've fully committed to the superhero conceit this time. I mean,
Cool.
the first game they were like, hey, yeah, we're like fantasy heroes, but also half the time we're really not. This time they are genuinely delusional and believe they're running a superhero franchise. And everything is done in the context of that, which I think makes it a hell of a lot funnier, actually. It's great. The new combat system is a bit more tactical. You've got like 3 or 4 people on your super team, and you've got to position them right to use various attacks.
I like that, at least from what they told us a while back, that you can like knock people into stuff and
Yes.
that does damage. I think that's cool.
Yeah, there's a big positioning element to it, like bumping somebody out of the way or throwing them into a part of the environment is a thing.
Yeah, I watched the video they made. They learned all of that from PewDiePie.
Really.
I'm not even joking. Go watch that video. Phenomenal.
It's cool though. Like as a South Park fan though, like the Bigger, Longer, Uncut movie was like one of the best movies they could have done, and after Team America, I was like kind of bummed that they're not really doing films, and
Right.
the video games are kind of the closest thing to a movie, and the last one was so damn good. I don't know if anyone played it, but like there's one part where you shrink as the kid you play, and you have to dodge your dad's balls.
Yeah.
That was a quick time event. I was like, this is great.
Not for kids.
I think it was the part of the first one where you got a dedicated button to having a large transmission device that was stored inside your ass.
Yeah.
That was like, right, yeah, this is a South Park game, yeah, definitely.
Throwback to episode 1.
Indeed. But it looks great. The backstory of it's supposed to be like a slightly different backstory for every superhero type. I did ask them if there would be, as a character class, if Jew would be making a return. They refused to answer the question. So I cannot guarantee there'll be playable Jews in that game, which is unfortunate.
I want this taken completely out of context.
because they were the
Some guy
best
to
and most
screen clip
overpowered
this.
class in the first one. There's no doubt about
I
it.
wondered if Jews would be involved.
Yeah. But
Just clip that bit out.
so every origin story, I think, is slightly different, but it always ends the same way. I believe in the traumatic event being that you stumble in on your dad fucking your mom. And that's the traumatic backstory that made you a superhero, regardless of your character class.
Right.
which I thought was quite amusing. But yeah, that game's really good. You've had a chance to play For Honor before, haven't you?
Me?
Anyone on this table?
Oh.
I think Jess has played quite a bit of it.
Yes.
Yeah, E3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've all played it. I think it's coming along quite nicely, actually.
That game is so fun.
It
As a
is,
person
yeah.
who really enjoyed Chivalry, like, For Honor, I think, has taken a lot of Chivalry elements and just cleaned them up and, like...
I think it
it's
is
so
the most
good.
stressful game that there ever was.
Why?
Why is that?
The
You don't like
mechanics.
blocking? You don't like the blocking?
I think almost every damn button is used in some way on that controller.
Yeah, that's true, it is.
That I'm so focused on not screwing that up because it's like, it moves this way, this does this, and this does your blocking, and this is charging. I'm just like, I would be a terrible teammate. I would spend the entire time looking down at my controller and making sure I'm not screwing this up. I need the dumbed down version of that game. Everything, like the world and everything in that game is awesome. I need the idiot version where it's like 3 buttons and a dream. And that's it. And that's how you do it.
I think that's the name of the campaign.
I don't know. Like I've just watched enough people have one-on-one battles in that game, and it's so tense
Yeah.
and awesome. Like
I played. It's the best. I played a few best of fives with Eat My Diction, and that worked out really well. Especially when I figured out the one overpowered move that he never saw coming every time. It just spammed it repeatedly, and the frustration
No.
was there. Yes.
Well, they do the cool thing, like, if you remember the movie, like, Dark Knight Rises, remember there's the big battle at the end, everyone's fighting, and then Batman and Bane see each other, and then they go at it?
Yeah.
It's sort of that vibe where you're
It
just
is.
knocking people down as this giant knight, and then you'll see that other knight, like, let's do this, and then you have this little, like, rock, paper,
Yeah.
scissors battle.
And you're just wading through the little guys to do it as well. They all the little guys die in one hit. You can't lock onto them because as long as you wave your weapon with about 10 feet of them, they die. So you sort of
fantastic.
slash through them, but you have a lock-on button which will lock onto an enemy hero or champion. So you do literally wade through the crowd, smashing them up. You get a little bit of health back every time you kill a little minion.
Then everyone
and
kind
then
of
you have
backs
a
off
real
and
tense battle with
watches.
them.
Yeah.
it's great.
It's great.
What did you play? Which level did you play it they had?
So they played 2 different maps on the Dominion mode, which is a capture point mode, and then we played Duel, which was in this sort of Viking castle area, which was
Did
all
you
pretty
play
cool.
the Vikings?
I played the Vikings, yeah.
Yes.
I played Viking. I played all 3 of them. There's multiple character classes per 3 factions. There's the samurai, the Vikings, and the sort of knights. I think the Viking is the most fun.
Yeah.
He's got a giant axe and doesn't give a shit. He wades through things. He has this giant power move that is unblockable, which is just a huge sort of fiery axe swing. And he's a lot of fun to play.
So good.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be good, I think. We'll see how that one turns out. But how it's playing so far is really, really great.
My favorite thing about PAX is because it's so close to the end of the year, a lot of games are in beta or are out. So I've never seen so many people wait in line to play Battlefield 1.
That is
when
already openly
Yeah,
available.
it's just like you could be playing this
I
at
thought that
home,
was
or you could wait in
bizarre,
line
too.
and
Oz
smell
or
farts.
Warcraft. Warcraft Legion has the giant line. I was like, either these people have never played it before, or they just can't wait to get home. They're like, I gotta do this now.
Well, they're just like, I'm here,
Right?
and it's there. Might as well get my WoW fix in, right?
See, that's what, yeah, when I was walking around, there were a lot of people who just kind of seemed like they weren't sure what they wanted to do, and then they would see, just one little area that had Fallout, and they'd be like, sure.
I like Fallout.
And just like stop to play Fallout, and I was
It's
like,
like
but that's,
You already own that game.
you could play that anyway. That's fine. Look, live your life. I'm not gonna
That's
tell you
fine.
what to do.
That means they're in a line out of the way of the stuff we want to play.
guess
so
that's true.
There's nothing wrong with that. I encourage that behavior.
Good
Or go
call.
and play Fallout, so I can go play Starship VR, please. That'd be nice. There's a lot of really great indie games here this year. I mean, everything on the PAX 10 is amazing, as it always is. But they've got plenty of really awesome stuff to try. I tried a little game called Antihero, which
Yeah, that game is so
it's
fun.
great. It is a 1 versus 1 kind of digital board game-esque thing where you play a master thief establishing a thieves guild in a randomly generated town. And your thief starts with a couple of actions that they can do, and they have to scout out the area. They go and steal shit from houses, and with the money they have, they can hire underlings to go and do different things.
Little newsy boys.
You can literally hire orphans, an army of orphans.
Yes, it's great. It's great.
That's a lot of what you do, is you hire a bunch of orphans, you have them infiltrate a building and take it over from the inside, and then you get a bunch of benefits for doing it. No, it doesn't make any logical sense, but...
It's really fun, though, and then there's another master thief who is also trying to take over the town at the
Some
same
Assassin's
time.
Creed asshole who shows up and kills everyone, and you're like, what? Those are little boys, sir!
I believe they describe it as evict, not murder children.
Right.
No, I definitely saw it as them murdering children.
Yeah.
I mean, no,
Because
it's
like
possible.
they would have their newsies in their weird building, and I would have my newsies in my weird building, and then they would send a newsie over, and then both of them would vanish. And I was like, they murdered each other.
Then you can make
Mess me up.
that Gangs of New York guy. And he's
Yeah.
for like mobs, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna get you. And
Yeah, and then you can
it's
add
great.
like more dudes.
Yeah,
and-
you can have a gang
cool.
that wanders around and just clubs people, and there's different side objectives, and the aim is to complete 3 objectives before the other person does, which I believe is mostly blackmail the church.
You can kill a bishop. It's great.
Yeah, murder an important person, blackmail the
important
church,
people.
or bribe the town.
There's like an old lady you
basically.
can kill. I killed her.
I
Well,
killed the
apparently
old
she's
lady,
horrible.
too, yeah.
She's described as an awful person, so it was completely
Yeah,
justified.
she deserved it.
Yeah.
And then there was like a weird Snidely Whiplash-looking dude who had like 7 hearts. And
I killed that guy too.
Yeah,
After him.
I grabbed my lady assassin and I was like, kill that man, and then I won. And it
Yeah.
was so satisfying.
It's a really great little game. They're going to have 1v1 async multiplayer, so you can just take your turn when you want, and there's going to be a campaign, and it's on PC and on tablets and phones as well, so that's coming now.
When does that come out?
It's towards the end of the year. I was really sort
No,
of...
did it say next?
Early next
Maybe
year?
maybe early next year.
I think there was a sign that said coming soon, so whatever
Coming
that means.
soon, whatever that means.
TM.
Yeah.
when it's done.
But I mean, I was drawn to that booth because the art style reminded me a lot of Clay stuff. Reminded me of Don't Starve and stuff
Absolutely.
like that.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, did
Oh yeah,
any
you played the new Clay game.
Oxygen not included?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
did.
Did you like it?
I did. It's a game about really rubbish colonists, and you're trying to stop them from just dying of incompetence. It's brilliant. And you can rename them, so guess what's happening when that game comes out?
Oh no, I'm gonna die first.
So it's a...
Oh no!
Oh
I'm gonna die first.
It's almost like I deliberately sent you in my XCOM squad into the most risky places possible to see...
I know that you hacked into the system and had me shot through that wall on purpose.
Maybe it's possible. It's a colony management game, and it's they describe it as a little bit like RimWorld, which is apparently doing really well in early access right now, with a little bit of Don't Starve mixed in there. But what surprised me about it is they simulate crazy amounts of stuff in that game. So they simulate, for instance, where in the world the oxygen is and what makes it disappear. So let's say you decide, right, I need to dig a tunnel down here to a water source, and you get your 3 little useless colonists to do it. And they're digging down there, they get out of breath, they breathe up all the oxygen, and then you can actually set on the oxygen overlay to show where the oxygen is in the level, and it dynamically moves around based on, like, real physics and stuff.
Wait, so you're like trying to get shiz. So you're like trying to get shiz done.
Yeah.
And you send dudes over and you have them dig a thing, and then they suck up all the oxygen, and you have to make them stop being useful so that they can find more oxygen.
Generally speaking, yes. You have to have them do everything.
I hate this game.
Oh yeah, it's...
I already hate this game.
It is-
It's gonna be the exact thing that we were all complaining about with No Man's Sky, where it's like, well, I was doing something useful.
The
and
thing
now
is,
I
the
have
whole
to
point
stop.
of the game is to stop them from dying of something stupid. So that's like the whole point. So make sure they don't freeze to death, make sure they don't starve to death, make sure they don't accidentally poison themselves by eating
Some people need to
random
freeze and
mushrooms.
starve to death. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Yeah.
Just gonna.
They described it as a losing this
Saying
fun
it.
game.
Some
We'll
people
see
need
whether
to.
or not that's true.
Crendor.
Everyone playing that thing looked stressed out.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's like, oh, everything's going wrong all at once.
Yeah.
You
A lot
know?
of
That's how I
gritted
felt playing
teeth and
RimWorld.
puckered butts, but it looked looked
I
like,
like-
it's
I like
like
how you walk by, these butts are just like.
well, you can just see it's like a GIF where it just sucks in. Just
You were specifically looking for that, by the sounds of it.
yeah, it looked good. I think that was next to a game that looked kind of cool. It was like Shifter Man or something. Did you see
I
that?
have not seen that one.
I had enough time to just do a lap and just kind of look at everything. So like, I was glad you guys got
So
to actually
much.
play things and describe it to me because all I saw was a brief image of like, what was the Thieves Guild one? So I
Yeah.
saw that, and I'm glad you guys got to actually play it. I wish I get to play games. But
What did you get to play on the show floor?
oh, yesterday I played this. It's this new indie title called Overwatch. I'm really rooting for this Blizzard company. If they do a Kickstarter, I am behind them.
Gotta look out for the small guys.
I mean, yeah, I was making fun of the Battlefield kids earlier, but I'm just as guilty because I went to the Razer booth and just played Overwatch because that's all I had time for.
You're the problem.
I am the problem.
You're the problem.
Yeah, I rarely get to play anything at these things because we're at our booth just doing signings and panels and stuff the whole time. So, which is I get to look.
Way important.
Oh no, just busy. Yeah,
You should have been like, yeah, I'm damn important. I'm on your
damn right.
podcast, asshole. You should have owned it. You should have owned it.
My problem is
Own it!
I don't say no.
Own it.
I'm a big deal.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I'll go play Overwatch again later today. I'll see.
Great.
Did you get to play some Dishonored 2?
I didn't. I got to go. I went to the event last night, and I got to watch the video they had, which was awesome. But I mostly drank cheap wine and tried to solve a mystery. Guys, there was a mystery at the event.
Wait, an actual mystery or a mystery you concocted for yourself?
No, like an actual, like...
Okay. It's just you have
The
to
event got
check.
more
You
mysterious the more the cheap wine you
There was like a mystery, and there were people in character walking around. There were like aristocrats, and the aristocrats knew stuff, and then there were guards, and the guards would like whisper something to you and had to whisper back the right answer. Awesome.
Trying not to do that.
It's really hard. It's full of ice.
I don't think there's any water left. I think it's just ice.
That'll do.
Anyway.
Yeah, and so you had to go around and solve a mystery. It
Where
was
did all
great.
the water go?
It was tons of fun. I drunkenly ran around trying to solve a mystery, only to find out that they ran out of the prizes at the end.
No.
Apparently, it was a mystery so easily solved, everyone had done it before me. Yeah, Speaking of mystery,
Yes.
I played a game that I just sort of, when I did my walkthrough of the mega booth, I saw there was kind of like a tablet-y game called Sorcery Code, I believe is the name of it.
Something like that, yes.
saw that too.
Open
Which one
source.
was
Open Sorcery, that's
Open
what it is.
Sorcery,
Open
yeah.
Sorcery. Close enough.
What a clever title.
Yeah. Open Sorcery is a game where you play as an AI in like a weird magical AI world. It's so difficult to explain, but it's like a text-based game, and you are monitoring stuff, and every once in a while, like evil viruses and crap that are poltergeists and awful shit will like
I
get
get
in your
the
game.
goof in the name.
Yeah. And you're a being
me
of
a
like
minute.
you're a being of like order and fire, and so you have to determine what these other beings are made of in order to defeat them. And I met one that was like chaos, and my options were either just purge it with fire or challenge it. And I was like, yo, I'm challenging this thing. And I got in a riddle match with it. And I had to solve 3 riddles. And these were legitimate, like, I sat there at this booth staring at the devs like, F you guys. And they were laughing at me because I couldn't figure out this first riddle. And eventually I realized that one of the H's was capitalized. And I was like, oh, so it has to do something with this H. And I sat there and I looked at it. And it was like, I think the riddle was like the foremost in heaven and the firstmost in hell. Something like that. It was all these things. And it was like the echo of something. And I'm sitting there like, I don't know what this is. Like, let's do something with this damn H. It's this damn H. And eventually one of the devs comes over and is like, it's H. The answer's H. And I was like, oh yeah, because the H. It makes sense. I was like, the first in heaven. Oh,
Foremost
H.
and
the
first-
first-
yeah.
And I was like, shut up. So I got it. And then, of course, the last one was like the tongue. It was the easiest one in the world. But it's like, I figured I went through this trial by fire, and it got to this easy one. It was like, all right, we're good. And I beat him. And I was like, they were like, you're the first person here who didn't just burn that guy and kill him instantly.
Really?
And what happened was because I didn't kill him, my AI was like, I learned a lot about that guy. Interesting. So I learned his like darkness ability, and then I was like, I like got into like wondering what dreams. Like my AI started to like evolve, and it started to wonder. He's like, maybe I'll dream tonight. And I was like, yeah, we're dreaming. And my AI is like, so then the next night it's like, maybe I'll dream again. But this is what I think. When I looked up on Google, this is what dreams are. So I was like creating an AI that would destroy the world. I was making it was like watching people. It's like, this person's crying. What if I take away their sadness? And I was like, do it, do it. And it was like Googling sadness. And it was like looking up like all these definitions. And then it would be like, well, apparently I can't take it away this way. But then I defeated one of them, like the bad guys, learned his ability, went back and took away the sadness. And it was like, now she just feels cold. And I'm like, excellent. I am doing my job. I had a lot of fun. It's just like a mobile game, but it's all text-based. And I was just like, this is my jam right now.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
Speaking of VR from before, there was a game that I played called Laser Type, and that game, if ever there was something in my life that made me realize I did not learn how to type correctly, it was that game. Because, like, you put on this VR headset and it's basically Typing of the Dead, but space. So you have all of these, like, little ships coming at you, and they all have words or just one letter, right? And so I was trying
You have to touch type, basically.
Yeah, so you see like a keyboard, but if you touch the keyboard, you can't tell where your fingers are, right? So I was like, my fingers were always in the wrong place, always. And my friend Brad was like, well, but just like, you feel the little notches and then you're in the right place. And I was like, but then like I get confused and I don't know where my hands are. And I realized...
It's about, you have to reorientate. I'm with you on this. You have to reorientate. Like, after you type something, I'm like, okay, all right, and now I'm good.
Yeah,
but I have to just give it a little quick look.
I've never realized before how often I look down. Like I'll be typing and then I'll like reorientate all the time. Yeah. And so once I couldn't do that, I was like, oh no. like I was panicking. It was like there was one little ship coming at me. All I had to hit was Q. Guys, all I had to hit was Q and I was like, oh no! It was so bad. And then I swapped out with somebody who did the full-on typing courses and stuff, and she was just nailing it. Like, okay.
The qualification for being good at that game is doing 2 years of soul-crushing data entry work.
Yeah, exactly.
I will be phenomenal at that game. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be great. Speaking of a game I'm looking forward to, I got a chance to try the very early alpha of BattleTech, which is awesome. I'm happy to say.
BattleTech audience.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm glad we got some discerning folks in here that are probably very miserable at the current state of what they can do when it comes to MechWarrior games. We had MechWarrior Tactics, which closed down very quickly, and then we had MechWarrior Online, which requires you to, I think, donate your firstborn for the best mech. It's extremely expensive to play, and we haven't had a proper, full-on single-player MechWarrior game for a long time. Harebrained Schemes got a hold of it. They, of course, did Shadowrun, brought that back, and it was great. Did Necropolis, which wasn't, but hey, well, everyone makes mistakes. But I played the little BattleTech demo, and it's a turn-based tactics. You've got a Lancer 4 mechs of 4 different sizes, and it's not based on a grid. You have sort of full free movement. You can move wherever you want. You can then also orientate and pivot your torso. Which is, kind of important thing in MechWarrior. So you run off this way, then you pivot sideways so you could shoot at that guy. It has indirect fire, regular fire, alpha strike with an Atlas on a tiny little tank thing and watch it be obliterated along with everything in a 10-mile vicinity. It felt great, actually. It really did. What was really cool about it is that the light mechs felt really useful. Whereas in every other MechWarrior game, a light mech is cannon fodder. It would just be wiped out. Even in the tabletop, actually, the guy was telling me, because the guy that's involved in this actually designed the BattleTech tabletop. And it's like, I really wanted light mechs to be useful, but they just keep getting blown up quickly. So they made them really fast, and they have an initiative system where they get to act first, or they can delay their action for later. So I had my little guy just running around the side, getting behind someone, just point-blank range, just unloading it in the back of them. It was great. It felt awesome, actually. It feels like they're on the right path with it. They're going to have a full-on campaign where you recruit new pilots and get new skills, and you have to buy new mechs and parts and things like that because you're part of a mercenary group. So I dug that. That felt really good. So hopefully that's going to be awesome.
Nice.
Looking forward to that.
Oh, we played Hand of Fate 2.
Yes,
We
I
did.
played that as well,
Yeah.
We did.
It's Hand of Fate 1, but like better.
Oh,
like
way
better
better, yeah.
versions of everything.
Yeah, I mean, the main problem with Hand of Fate 1 was, for those that don't know, it was a kind of deck-building game, and the cool thing was you were faced with a dealer who, you don't know if he's actually, like, a bad guy or a good guy. He's just dealing you cards and saying mysterious things all the time. And he's fully animated and everything. And he's back in this one, and with more voice acting, that's great. But you would sort of travel around this dungeon made of cards that he'd deal. You'd pick up cards that you would put in your deck if you had enough money to buy them. You'd encounter things, kind of like choose your own adventure. And every now and again, you'd go into a fight. And that fight was really crappy Arkham. Like, just not good at all. It was like, hey, we're going to do the Arkham system, but we're going to do it on 1/100th of the budget.
The idea of it was awesome, but like, yeah, once you went into those situations where you were expected to have like this 3D like fight mechanic, it wasn't.
It felt clunky.
It felt really repetitive.
Yeah,
and
it's
kinda
just like,
clunky,
I just want to go back to dealing cards and watching the mysterious guy on the other side of the table go, woo, spooky things, the entire time. But they've really upgraded the combat system. There's a bunch of new weapon types. All the new weapon types have different attacks and follow-ups and
You can
attributes.
have followers now. that,
Yeah,
like,
you
come into
can
fight
have
with
a you can have a dude that
What
follows,
did you?
follows you around.
Which part did you play? Because they changed the villains and stuff as well. Which campaign did you play?
I played against somebody called the Reaper. So I was being.
So did we!
Yeah.
So did we!
You're being stalked by a guy called the Reaper who has an arrow that never misses and does 110 damage to you guaranteed. So before you meet him, you need more than 110 health. So you build your deck around that, and then you pick up all the stuff you need to be able to have enough HP to survive his arrow. But you fight a bunch of thieves before that, get a bunch of weapons, and then you beat the crap out of the Reaper at the end.
Did you survive?
I did, yes.
So did we.
So did we. I thought you.
Played around with the
But
dual-wield
Jesse,
dagger,
like,
so that was cool.
Jesse was playing it, and then right before we were supposed to face the Reaper, he handed it to me.
I
was like,
was
this
being
way.
a good friend.
No, I'm pretty sure you said specifically this way. If we die, it's your fault.
Friendship.
Those are all games on like the 6th floor, though, right? That's like
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many good things up there that are just hiding away. I highly recommend if you have any time towards the end of the show, go to the 6th floor. It's not that busy. They have a ton of stuff.
Did you see the Mega 64 booth?
I
there?
did.
I'll buy it,
So
yeah.
they're doing hands down my favorite thing at PAX, where I think like on the hour, every hour they play Gangnam Style, and they're doing the dance completely wrong, and they're yelling at people, going, "This is called Gangnam Style. Look it up on YouTube. It's going to be a big hit." And no one's buying anything. They're just staring.
That sounds about right.
And then they're like, remix, and they just play the song again. They're the best.
Every now and again at PAX, you see the sad little booth in the corner with the game that nobody wants to play.
Yeah.
And
What
for
is it
some
this year?
reason, maybe it's just not appealing or weird subject matter, or their booth looks like it's made of cardboard and that they made it 5 minutes ago or whatever. And they're just sort of sitting there very... They don't look depressed, they just look like they've resigned themselves to their fate at that point.
Oh.
I just want to go there and just say, hey, could you show me your game, just to brighten their day, you know?
Yeah.
But then you look at it and you're like, I don't want to do
I
this.
was like, by the end of it, you're like, this was a mistake. I understand why this is like this now. That's a shame. But to kind of wrap it up before we start our Q&A, favorite thing you've seen at PAX? Going down, let's start with Adam. And you don't get to say Overwatch.
Man, can I say Overwatch on a laptop? No. Shoot. Yeah, the Razer booth is great. No, favorite thing so far, dang it. Shoot, I haven't really been able to see anything other. I said the Mega 64 thing just kind of brightened my day. So, yeah, go see those guys because they're amazing.
Your favorite thing was watching them screw everything up.
Yeah, I
Excellent.
love when things
On
go
purpose.
wrong. It's fantastic.
We should bring you on the show more often then. Jesse, your favorite thing at PAX so far?
I have two things. One, because I can't remember the name of it, and I just suggest everyone go out and find this thing in the Indie Mega booth. There's a game that is like weird black tentacles and like eyeballs and stuff. It is a
What?
bizarre, weird game where like you are a little blob man and you go around and you eat other things to like take on parts of them, and it looks like an it's an acid trip. It's an acid trip game. It's super bizarre and weird, and I do not remember the name of it. It's in the Indie Mega booth. There's that.
So we're sending 500 people over there to ask
what
about the
is it?
tentacle game.
Karma Incantation, thank you.
Thank you,
It
well
is
done.
super, like, the opening animation is what I think are two, like, a male and a female sperm kissing.
What?
And then, I'm telling you, they're like kissing, and then an evil black blob takes over the planet they live on, and then he kidnaps the pink sperm, and then the other sperm goes up to like the Moon Man and is like, "I need your help." And the Moon Man's like, "I'll make you into a thing." And then you go onto the planet. I'm telling you, this is
basically
the
the plot
plot.
of Super Meat Boy. Yeah.
This is the plot of the game, except it's a point and click, and it's like you go around as this blob creature and change the environment, and then you get access to this orb thing that lets you see what the world would look like if it wasn't corrupted, and that lets you change the reality of. It's cool. It's cool. It's bizarre as hell, but it's super cool.
I just remembered marijuana's legal here. That suddenly makes sense.
Everything explained.
Super. And then a game that I can't remember the name of. I loved Dawn of War 3, guys. I love that game.
Heard some very good things. I was watching Jeff play it on stream, and he seemed to be really into it. I think he was in a sort of the kind of 40k trance that most 40k fans get when they play something for 40k that doesn't suck. It's rare. Very rare, but every now and again we get something and we just enter this world of we love everything that has to offer, and we just want more of it.
It's not even like I'm not even like a huge 40k fan guy. I just everything about like one of your heroes, whenever he slams his hammer, instead of slamming it, does like a forward jump flip and then slams on. There's like a giant laser beam that anime vaporizes people. There's so much visually. I'm like, this is wonderful. It's what RTS games need. Like that visual, like I'm gonna blow your mind with visual coolness.
It was like the first one where the mech would just pick up like an orc and just crush it and then spin it and then.
That's some amazing death animations in that. I remember, I think it's the Avatar. The elder Avatar would just like take an orc and impale it on its sword and just would take uncomfortably long to do it.
And then he calls their family and he's like, "Look what I'm doing right now."
As the orc slowly slides down the flaming sword.
You're like a Skype
He
call.
is in a lot of pain right now. Yeah, have a look, see?
Yeah, it was a ton of fun.
Yeah, that just looked pretty cool.
I don't know what my highlight would be, but one of the things that delighted me the most was finally seeing gameplay of Burly Men at Sea. That game looks so cute.
What does it involve? I've heard nothing but good things about Burly Men at Sea, which is a phrase I didn't think would ever exit my mouth, but here we are.
It's from what I saw, it's just like a story with like your side scrolling, and they're just a bunch of burly men with big beards, and the art style is adorable. And you guide the group of burly men around with a little bird. Like every time you want them to go off to the side, like a little bird follows your cursor, and it's just cute. I don't know. I like.
Does it have a theme song? Please tell me they have like a burly men.
They should.
If not, it needs one before release. That game should be nothing but sea shandies. It's the best part of Assassin's Creed 4.
Yeah,
we need that. Collectible sea shandies. Should be more games.
What about you, TV?
I mean, I saw and played a bunch of really, really awesome stuff. I think, like, I'm just really excited to see what they do with Oxygen not included, if they can fully develop it into an everything is going wrong colony management simulator, because everything I saw of it was great and horribly impractical and miserable. Even the first power generator is literally a hamster wheel that you force one of your colonists to run on, and they're really unhappy about it.
Oh my god. Maybe that's what I need. You know what? Maybe that game will, because like when I play RimWorld, that game makes me so sad. Everything's going great finally, right? Like you work really hard for everybody to be a little bit happy, and then they all just die. Like, why? I can't win.
I think with this one, they've made it so you sort of learn to gradually hate the people you're caring for.
See, that's what I'm hoping.
Because apparently they become more and more entitled the more skilled they get. So you can train one of them to, say, be the master chef of the colony, and you can order them to say, right, you're not doing any other tasks other than cooking, that's all you're going to do. And he gets better at it and better at it and better at it. But as he gets better at it, he starts demanding more things. She's like, you know what, I'm the only motherfucker on this colony that can cook. I demand an entertainment system. I demand a plush bedroom and all this kind of stuff. It's like, what if I send him down the mine, and what if he doesn't come out again? It's an ant farm for a cruel, cruel god, is what that game seems to be.
It's going to be perfect to name all of the characters.
Yes, that's the first thing I asked them. Can I rename the characters to people that are supposedly my friends? And the answer is yes. Wow. They will die repeatedly. So that was probably the highlight. Everyone seemed to be super excited about that game. You know, it's got the classic clay art style. It looks awesome.
Right.
All the animations of the facial features of the colonists really convey that sense of utter, inevitable misery. So it's wonderful. I think they're going to just gradually go insane on this
I love
hostile
that this
planet.
is like everyone's miserable.
Everyone
I love this
hates
game.
being here. They've been the people aren't even real. They're 3D printed. They're duplicants. They've been 3D printed into a life of misery on a hostile planet.
That sounds
So they're
right.
not even real people. F them.
Yeah, you don't feel so bad about having to
I don't
die of
care.
poison gas anymore. But yeah, that's definitely worth having a look at. I mean, again, just go tour all the indies. There's so many really, really good things
Yeah,
here.
I haven't been able to play it's Link, but it's a Fox
Oh,
game
the
yet.
little Link Fox game?
It looks so cute.
It is super cute.
Strange
I wanna play
Tales,
it.
something
Something
like
like
that.
that.
Yeah.
But they only have one. Maybe they have two now. But when I was there, they only had one like setup to play.
That's why, I
Yeah.
keep walking by and being like, maybe next time.
It is unfortunate. Right, we've got about 15 minutes left for Q&A. There is a microphone in the center.
Right there.
Special ones, please do line up. And I'm going to request
Don't
that
do
we...
it orderly. Fight.
We keep the questions relatively short, please, because we'd like to get through as many as possible. So,
Yes.
no life stories, just nice and simple questions. That would be wonderful, so everyone can get a chance to ask, what the hell is that on your head? It's a
What do you mean? He wears it literally every time.
I know.
He's always here.
He's at every panel we've ever done. He's been.
He blocks it out.
You know the idea of repressed memories? So, what is your question?
I'm gonna start off weird with the would you rather question.
Okay.
Would you
Sure,
rather
why
have
not?
Penis
Great.
legs or penis arms?
Penis legs or penis arms?
Yes. They get hard only at weird times.
Legs.
Wait, if they're your legs, are the feet as sensitive as the tip of a normal
Yes.
penis?
No, then arms.
Well, it's got to be
Yeah.
arms then. You couldn't even walk. You kidding me?
Yeah, legs.
I'd be tiptoeing everywhere.
What are you
going,
talking about? Sometimes you'd be short and sometimes you'd be tall.
We finally fulfilled your fantasy of being tall, Dodger. Great.
Yeah. All I needed was penis legs.
There are other ways to accomplish this. I mean, I'd say thank you for your question, but I'm not going to thank you for that question.
For
Next.
your question.
If you want to play basketball, you have to be aroused. I just realized that.
That's.
Don't you anyway?
Hi.
Yeah,
This
I don't play much
question,
basketball.
just play with a raging heart on.
Hi.
this question's for Jesse, but anyone can chime in.
What? How dare you offer them that opportunity?
You recently finished with Dodger your playthrough of Life is Strange,
This is only for me. Sorry, Dodger.
Yes, go on.
and as usual, Jesse predicted pretty much every story beat in the game.
Oh my god, it was so infuriating.
And you also enjoyed on Scary Game Squad Until Dawn. So if you could pick between a spiritual successor to Life is Strange or Until Dawn, which would you choose, and what would you make it about?
Oh my God. F those Life is Dawn. F those Life is Dawn kids. No, Until Dawn. That story's done. I don't need any more of that. Life is Strange. I need a complete and total follow up, where I need. It's called Life is Strange 2. Do everything you just did to get Warren back with Max, because none of that matters anymore. The game. And it would literally just it'd be a dating sim. Where this poor awkward boy who just cannot get his girl to notice him, you must like walk him through life. It's oh shit! I take all that back. Life is Strange 2, but it's from Warren's perspective. The exact same events, but it's Warren's perspective. Holy shit. That'd be amazing. That'd be an amazing game. Get on that. Don't nod.
And I know it's not competitive, but please consider playing Overcooked on Multiplayer Mayhem.
I've
That's
heard
all.
Overcooked is amazing.
I heard that's good.
Thank
It destroys friendships, by the way.
Yeah,
Good.
Don't play
Hello.
with a loved one.
This question is specifically for Jesse. I'm sorry.
strictly.
That's okay.
Yes.
I know your blood pressure spikes whenever Squeenix is mentioned, but have you tried Final Fantasy 15 yet?
Yo, I played like a bajillion hours on Friday. That's all I did Friday was play Final Fantasy 15.
And opinions?
I think, all right, real talk, you need to see Kingsglaive. You need to.
Yeah.
You must. The beginning of
You
that
can
game.
buy it online now to watch it. You don't have to go to this.
You don't even have to like the movie. You just need to see it. Because the beginning of the game, there's like an intro where if you've seen the movie, you're like, and if you haven't, you're like, well, I don't get this. So you need to see it. Other than that, I thought it was great. I think the addition of having 4 characters who know each other from the beginning and are like buddy from the beginning are it changes the dynamic of the game. There's a lot of stuff I don't understand. Like there's a day-night cycle and it counts the days, and I have no idea what that's about. I don't get it. But whatever, I'm excited to find out what that
You only have
is.
so many days to get your throne back, Jesse.
Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, please tell me this isn't a replication of Final Fantasy.
I don't know. I don't think, because they don't tell you like in that game it was like, don't you know, Lightning? You only have 3 days, which don't care. But in this one, no one says that. It's just like, hey, come on, we're gonna go drive off to go pick up your fiance. Let's do this, and your friends give you shit, and it's great. Sid is officially my spirit animal. That guy is like an old asshole who their car breaks down and he's like, you aren't even as cool as your dad, you shitlord. It's like, I love you. Yeah, he shit talks everyone, and he's like, don't touch my daughter. And Cindy's like, boobies. It's amazing. It's the perfect game for me. And so far, I enjoy it. I realize that each of the 4 main characters has skills, and those skills are like, one of them is cooking, and one of them is fishing, and one of them is mountain climbing, and one of them, the blonde-haired kid, literally is just like, I take photos. And one of the abilities you can spend 20 AP to get him to have the ability to take photos in combat. I don't know what that's for. I want it.
He's covered wars, you know.
There's so much in that game that's just so silly. I tried to level up my cooking and stole some eggs from some birds and was attacked by like 500 birds. They came out of nowhere. And I ended up in like a 20-minute combat situation where like more birds were coming, and the devs are dying. Like these Japanese guys are dying watching me play this. And I'm just like, this is amazing. And I'm zipping around, flying. I loved it so far. I imagine watching it, like if you had to watch what I was doing, zipping around fighting all these birds, you'd be like, I can't, this is visually too much. But in the moment, I was like, this is so great.
I can't wait for the inevitable disappointment that's going to hit you as soon as that game comes out 30 hours in and you absolutely hate it.
That's what I'm afraid of.
I'm
like,
looking
so
forward
far,
to that.
They've got me. I'm in and I'm ready.
Excellent.
I'm waiting for the end where it's just like,
I can't wait. It's going to be wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you for your question. Next, please.
So you guys talked about the games that you liked the most here, but what were you disappointed not to see? Because for me personally, I was pissed off that Sun and Moon didn't have some sort of playable demo here. So what were you disappointed that wasn't here?
No playable Dishonored 2 was... half of me says I'm disappointed by that, and the other half of me says I don't actually want to touch that game until it comes out, just so I can experience the whole thing. I don't want to watch any more trailers. I just want to play it. What else was... What are you disappointed wasn't here?
I don't know.
It's a good question.
I wanted to take the time to like stand in line to play Horizon, but I didn't. So that would be like my disappointment in myself, but not like in any devs or company at all.
Yeah, I did play one game that I did feel was a waste of my time, which actually has a surprisingly large booth called Earthfall. It's Left 4 Dead, but really laggy and slow and not as good.
Tell us more.
I don't know. I don't know if there's a market for more Left 4 Dead clones, but the only thing that distinguished that game from Left 4 Dead, as far as I could tell, was the ability to 3D print guns in the garage. It's in the middle of the level. There's a 3D printer there. It's like, you can print a gun. I'm like, oh, can I? All right.
It's the future.
It's just a gun dispenser, basically. But yeah, the zombies are just aliens, and the bloater is a catalyst or something, and there's a hunter that's called like a gargoyle or whatever. And if it felt good, and if it felt like it was well polished and it had really great gunplay, I would have been okay with it and had really good co-op play. But it was so laggy and slow. Like I shot an alien. It took about a second and a half for them to actually register that it hit, and it had a surprisingly large booth there. I'm like, this doesn't seem ready at all for show.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of a waste of time.
I was going to say, I think this is the first year. I've been coming to PAX for, 7 years. This first year, I don't think Firefall was here. Where'd Firefall go?
It's finally done, I think. They finally shut down.
It's sleeping with Hawken or something right now.
I believe so. Yeah. It's a shame. I think they spent all their money on PAX, and that's why they ran out.
Those booths are huge.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I wonder where they
is there a
keep it
game
all
here?
now. Did they sell it off? I don't know.
I don't know. Sad.
Curious to know. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
All right, we've got 5 minutes left, so next.
So you've all played a few games, maybe a couple. So, what's one mechanic over the past couple of years that you've gotten absolutely, completely sick of that could even turn a good game bad?
Open world.
Is open world a mechanic?
It is.
Is it? How?
It's a game element that can be frustrating.
It is. Look. It's
I mean, I think there's a lot of parts of open world that are frustrating, right? I mean,
that's what I'm
climbing towers
all
to
the
discover
BS
things.
associated with open world. That's what I mean.
Like having to stop every 5 seconds to collect some random ass herb, skin something, pick up some rock, something along those lines. I'm getting pretty damn sick of Arkham style combat. I want to be honest, mostly because most devs do it terribly, and I think there's only been really 2 games that have done it well, and one of them is Arkham. The other one probably being Shadow of Mordor. The rest of them are just, it's getting really samey.
An element that I get kind of sick of hearing about is procedurally generated.
Oh, God. Yeah.
When they're like, our game has procedurally generated areas. I'm like, but I'm like, at this point now, I'm more impressed if you're willing to craft areas for me. Like,
that to me is not a selling point anymore.
It's not
That's
for
a
me
downside. Either. It's like, that means, oh, God, you probably haven't even created anything worth playing. It's just going to be, great, 19 quintillion planets of bullshit. Like,
But they all have the same dinosaur.
I don't know what game you could be
Everyone-
referencing right now.
Can't possibly know what I'm referring to there. Adam?
I was going to say, I mean, Ark is sort of the guiltiest one of this, but you can change it. But any survival game where it keeps telling you you're getting cold and you're standing on top of a fire, and you're like, I don't want to argue with you, game, but you're wrong. But basically any babysitter simulator.
Yeah, man.
I play games to get away from real life. I don't want to drink my own piss in a video game. I'll do that when I'm camping or with a loved one. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your
Thank
question.
you.
Couple of minutes left, folks. Couple of minutes.
This is for TB. A few years ago, you kind of gave your opinion on this, but I'm kind of wondering, given what is very obviously the decline of E3, what is your opinion of media in relation to PAX? Do you think they should really be there, not be there, be in the shadows? Like what?
Could you sort of repeat that question a bit closer to the mic? I couldn't actually hear it up here. Sorry.
You mentioned this you gave your opinion on this a few years ago, but given the very clear decline of E3, what is your opinion of the media and PAX? Should they be in the shadows? Like where do you stand on that? Especially now that E3's relevance is kind of dropping.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if shows like this are required for the media anymore, because since streaming came about and since every company realized we can just set up our own YouTube channel and put out our own stuff anytime we want, there's no real need to spend a huge amount of money to show a game at an event anymore. Which I think PAX is now the most relevant, because instead of trying to connect with the media, they're trying to connect with regular players. And I think that's a wonderful experience both for developers to be able to meet their fans and make new fans and make an impression, but also the word of mouth element is huge now online. You know, the way that the news about a game could get around without a single website even picking it up is insane. You'll see something go right to the top of Steam as soon as it comes out. It's like, not a single website even talked about this. How did this happen? Well, it's like, people talked about it. It spread. And maybe someone streamed it on Twitch or YouTube, and then someone else followed them and all that kind of thing. So I think the future is mostly consumer shows like this. E3 is a giant, bulbous, corpulent, decadent mess of a show that is horribly unpleasant to work and costs way too much money and is mostly lies. So I think I would prefer just more PAX in more places. I think this is probably the best possible way to show games. So I think everyone has a great time here. So yeah, I'd love to see more of that.
Thank you.
And according to our wonderful sponsor there, we have hit
Speed
time.
through! Speed through!
Speed round!
So this question is for TV.
Faster!
You've talked about how people using ad block is taking away from the ad revenue you make. I was wondering, why don't you use Patreon?
I don't use Patreon because I don't like the idea of taking donations. I would rather run a business and ad support it and sell merch and things like that. So I just don't feel comfortable with it myself.
Gotcha, thank you.
I'll take your money faster!
Give it to Jesse, give it to Jesse. There we go. Next.
Dodger?
Yes.
Will you be finishing Dandelion with Cry?
Faster!
Oh, for a what?
Dandelion. Right.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Woo!
And Jesse and TV co-op stuff in the future?
Yes, definitely! Let's go! Go!
4 more questions. Here we go. Go.
TotalBiscuit.
Yes.
How do you fix Assassin's Creed now that it's on hiatus?
You don't. It's a garbage game. Let's go. Let's go.
If I never see another Assassin's Creed game ever again, I will not mourn its loss.
Thank you, next.
Next.
What's your favorite flavor of ice cream, and why is it black licorice?
Black licorice.
It's pistachio. Next.
Licorice is literally Hitler. No.
Next.
Flea. Next.
Video you wanted to finish the least.
Terraria.
Next.
With the recent major flop of No Man's Sky, would you say that a game in that genre could be successful, and do you think one could
No,
come up?
hopefully they're all going to die off.
Time, gentlemen, please.
Thank you all so much for coming out
Thank you
today.
very much. Signing session in 25 minutes on floor 2 of the Western.